Zixel was not special. He was just an alien courier who flew from planet to planet carrying boxes and data chips. His ship was small, old, and always smelled like burnt wires. But it worked, and that was enough. He didn't ask questions. He didn't make friends. He delivered the package and left. That's how he stayed alive. On one quiet morning, Zixel received a last-minute delivery. The pickup location was New Terra 9, a small human colony. The message said, "Urgent package, no scans, deliver to Sector 47A, do not open." The payment was triple. Zixel raised his brows. Strange, but money is money. He flew down to the planet, picked up a small sealed crate and locked it in the cargo hold. Then he blasted off into space. Everything seemed normal for the first few hours. Zixel sat in the cockpit drinking warm glorm juice and watching the stars. The ship moved smoothly through the black sky. Then, bang! A loud noise echoed from the back. Zixel froze. Cargo was not supposed to make noise. He stood up slowly, grabbing a wrench for safety. Step by step, he walked to the cargo bay. The lights flickered. The air felt colder. Another sound, a sniffle. Zixel tightened his grip. "Who's there?" he said in a deep voice. No answer. He moved behind a crate and stopped. A small human boy was sitting there, hugging his knees. He looked about 8 years old with messy hair and scared eyes. His clothes were dirty, his shoes were torn, he was holding a small cloth bag. What in the stars? The boy gasped when he saw Zixel and tried to crawl away. "Hey, calm down," Zixel said. "I'm not gonna hurt you." The boy didn't speak. Zixel crouched. "I'm Zixel. I fly this ship. Who are you?" After a long pause, the boy said, "Timmy." Zixel looked at the crate. It had been cut open from the inside. "You were in there?" he asked. The boy nodded. Zixel sighed. "You're the package?" Timmy hugged his bag tighter. "Please don't take me back." Zixel sat down on a metal box. "I should turn you in. I don't smuggle people." "They'll kill me," Timmy said quietly. Zixel blinked. "Who?" The boy looked away. "The men who sent me. They killed my mom." Zixel didn't know what to say. He was a courier, not a hero. This was not his problem, but still, there was something in the boy's eyes. He stood and said, "Come on, you can't stay back here." He led Timmy to the small break room and gave him water and a protein bar. After a few minutes, Timmy took a small crystal from his bag. It glowed softly. "What's that?" Zixel asked. "My mom gave it to me. She said never let them have it." "What's on it?" "I don't know, but they want it bad. That's why she hid me." Zixel stared at the chip. "This is big, isn't it?" Timmy nodded. Before Zixel could say more, the alarm beeped in the cockpit. Incoming ship detected. He rushed to the controls. On the screen, a black ship was heading straight toward them. Fast. No ID. No lights. "They found us," Timmy whispered. Zixel grabbed the controls. "Hang on!" The courier ship spun hard to the left, diving into a debris field. Old space junk floated everywhere, broken satellites, metal pieces, old escape pods. The enemy ship fired. Laser blasts zipped past them. One hit the rear shield. Shields. At 60%, the computer warned. Zixel gritted his teeth. Not good. He twisted the ship down and then up again, using the debris to block enemy fire. Timmy held his seat tightly. "Are we gonna die?" "Not today." Zixel dove behind a massive broken ship and powered down the engine. The black ship slowed, scanned, and then passed by, not seeing them. Zixel waited another full minute before breathing. He turned to Timmy. "You just brought a galaxy of trouble onto my ship." "I didn't mean to," Timmy said, scared. Zixel nodded. "I believe you." He leaned back in his chair. "Well, looks like I'm not just a courier anymore." That night, Timmy lay in the tiny sleeping pod, holding the glowing chip close to his chest. Zixel stood by the window, staring out at the stars. Something big was happening. something dangerous. He didn't ask for this, but now the boy was here, and the galaxy was about to change. The ship was silent, too silent. Timmy sat at the small table eating half of a protein bar. He didn't talk, he didn't smile. His eyes kept darting to the door like he expected someone to burst in. Zixel sat across from him watching quietly. The alien courier had been in dangerous jobs before, but never with a kid on board, and never with bounty hunters this close. "You sleep at all?" Zixel asked. Timmy shook his head. "They're going to find us again, aren't they?" Zixel didn't lie. "Probably." He stood and walked to the cockpit. Timmy followed. Zixel sat down and tapped the controls. "We need to refuel and fast. This ship won't outrun another attack." "Where are we going?" "Old supply station. No cameras, no patrols, no questions." Timmy looked nervous. "What if someone recognizes me? Then we run faster." Zixel landed the ship on a half-broken refueling pad floating near an abandoned moon. The station barely had power, and half the signs were in a language no one used anymore. They stepped out carefully. Zixel carried a small toolkit. Timmy wore a hood, too big for his head. The station smelled like rust and smoke. Doors creaked. No one greeted them. "I don't like this place," Timmy whispered. Zixel looked around. "That's the point." In a back corner, Zixel found a working fuel line. He started refilling the ship's core while Timmy kept watch. That's when they heard it. Footsteps. Sharp. Heavy. Getting closer. Zixel froze. Timmy's eyes widened. A shadow moved through the hall. Then a tall figure stepped into view. Armor. Helmet. A glowing red visor. A bounty hunter. Zixel cursed under his breath. The hunter raised his blaster. "Give me the boy." Zixel stepped in front of Timmy. "Wrong ship." "Don't play games," the hunter growled. "There's a price on his head, alive or dead." Zixel looked down at Timmy. "Go. Now. But run." Timmy bolted toward the cargo ramp. The hunter fired. The shot missed but hit the fuel tank. Sparks flew. Zixel threw a wrench, hitting the hunter's helmet. Then he ran after Timmy. Blaster. Shots filled the station. They ducked into a side tunnel, metal shaking under their feet. Timmy tripped but got back up fast. "There!" Zixel shouted, pointing to a lift. They jumped in, and Zixel slammed the door shut. Back to the ship. No stops. "What if he follows?" Zixel grinned. "Let him try." Back on the ship, Zixel jumped into the pilot seat. Timmy climbed into the co-chair. "Hang on!" Engines roared. The ship lifted off just as the bounty hunter burst through. The hangar doors, he fired one last shot. It hit the side, hard. The ship jerked and spun as Zixel struggled with the controls. "Shields down," he yelled. "Hold tight." Timmy gripped the armrest. "Where are we going now?" Zixel checked the map. "Nowhere safe, nowhere close, but I know someone." Timmy looked confused. "Who?" Zixel said one word. "Laura." Timmy didn't ask more questions. He was learning that answers in space came slowly and danger came fast. Zixel turned the ship toward deep space. "No more hiding," he said. "We need help, real help." Hours passed. Timmy finally slept. Zixel stayed awake, eyes scanning for threats, mind racing with thoughts. He looked at the boy, curled up in the seat. "This wasn't supposed to happen," he whispered. But something inside him knew it was right. Just before sleep took him, a blinking light appeared on the screen. Incoming message. Zixel opened it. One sentence. "You're not safe. More are coming. No sender. No signal trace." Zixel stared at it for a long time. Then he whispered, "We really need to find Laura." Zixel's ship flew through the emptiest part of the galaxy. No stars nearby, no stations. Just black space and cold silence. Timmy sat in the co-pilot seat staring at the screen in front of him. He had never seen a map like this. No names. No borders. Just a blinking red dot. "What is this place?" he asked. Zixel answered quietly. "They call it the Drift." "Is it dangerous?" Zixel didn't look at him. Only if you stop moving. They were heading toward an asteroid cluster deep in the drift. Somewhere inside was a hidden base. Old, forgotten, and off every galactic map. Zixel's old contact, Lura, lived there. She was once a rebel spy. Now, she was something else. No, one knew exactly what. Zixel only knew one thing. If anyone could read the memory crystal and survive, it was Lura. Timmy held the chip tightly in his hand. It glowed gently. "I don't even know what's inside," he whispered. "Neither do I," Zixel replied. "But it's big enough to get us killed." As they reached the edge of the asteroid field, a voice crackled through the comms. "Identify or disappear." Zixel tapped a code into the console. "Courier Zixel, seeking Lura." Silence. Then, "You're 2 years late." Zixel smiled. "Still on time, then." A hidden docking bay opened inside a large asteroid. They entered slowly. Guns tracked them from every angle. Timmy stared out the window. "Are those turrets?" Zixel nodded. "She doesn't like visitors." The ship landed. The doors hissed open. A tall alien woman with silver eyes and a cloak stepped forward. "Zixel," she said flatly. "Lura," he replied. "Looking good for someone hiding in a rock." Lura's eyes moved to Timmy. "Who's the child?" "The reason we're being hunted." Lura looked at Timmy. "Come." They entered a dark hallway filled with old tech, broken screens, and flickering lights. Timmy held the chip close. Lura led them to a sealed room with humming machines. She pointed at the scanner. "Place it there." Timmy hesitated, then stepped forward and carefully set the glowing chip into the device. The screen lit up. Lines of code filled the air. Zixel squinted. "What is that?" Lura's voice dropped. "This is a war crime." She tapped the screen. Images appeared. Satellite footage, weapon blueprints, test results. Timmy's mother was on one of the files, speaking quietly into a camera. "She found it," Lura said. "They were building a weapon, one that could collapse gravity across an entire planet." Zixel's eyes widened. "Destroy a planet without firing a shot?" Lura nodded. "It makes the ground crush itself. Cities turn to dust. No survivors." Timmy's voice was soft. "That's why they killed her. That's why they want me." Lura turned to Zixel. "You need to get this to someone powerful, someone who can speak for systems." Zixel frowned. "The Council?" Lura shook her head. "They're too slow, too cautious." "Then who?" Lura stared at Timmy. Timmy blinked. "Me?" "You're a child," Lura said. "Innocent, scared. And you're the only one left who can tell this story." Timmy looked down. "I'm not brave." Zixel stepped forward. "You've outrun bounty hunters, risked your life, and never gave up. If that's not brave, I don't know what is." Timmy took a deep breath. "Okay, what do I have to do?" Lura tapped a console. "There's a forgotten broadcast tower in Sector 9. If you plug the crystal into the signal node, it'll send the data to every system, open, public, and impossible to erase." Zixel looked serious. "They'll come for us the second we do it." "They already are," Lura said. Later that night, Zixel sat alone by the ship looking at the stars. Lura approached quietly. "You could leave the boy with me." Zixel shook his head. "He's not cargo. He's my co-pilot now." Lura smiled for the first time. "You changed." Zixel stood. "So did the galaxy." In the morning, Timmy stood at the edge of the ship, ramp, ready to go. He had no armor, no weapons, but he had the truth, and he had a friend. Zixel placed a hand on the boy's shoulder. "Let's go make the galaxy listen." Zixel's ship soared through dark space, weaving between shattered satellites and asteroid remains. The stars were distant, silent, watching. Inside the ship, Timmy sat quietly, holding the memory crystal close to his chest. Zixel adjusted the controls. His voice was calm, but his jaw was tight. "We're going to stop at a hidden station," he said. "Just for repairs, then we head straight to the broadcast tower." Timmy looked up. Can we trust the people there? Zixel paused. I trust one of them. That'll have to be enough. They landed at Skarn Station, a floating scrapyard built into the shell of an old freighter. It was the kind of place where you didn't ask names and everyone carried a weapon. Timmy stepped out carefully, staying close to Zixel. The air smelled like oil and burnt food. Creatures of all kinds moved around, aliens with metal arms, half-repaired, robots and traders shouting in 5 languages at once. A voice called from a booth. Zixel, you ugly lizard. Zixel smiled. Hello, Rax. A short, wrinkled alien with 4 eyes and a big gut waddled out. His jacket was patched and his grin was crooked. Rax gave Zixel a tight hug. I thought you were dead. Almost, Zixel replied. I need repairs. And a safe room. Rax looked at Timmy. That your son? Zixel laughed. Not exactly, he's more important. Rax's smile faded slightly. I see. They entered a small room in the back of the station. It was dusty, but quiet. Safe, for now. Zixel started fixing the ship's engine while Timmy sat with Rax at a small table. What's that you're holding? Rax asked, pointing at the glowing chip. Timmy hesitated. It's the truth, Rax chuckled. Big words for a small kid. But he didn't laugh long. He stared too long at the chip. His smile returned, but it didn't reach his eyes. That night Zixel couldn't sleep. Something felt wrong. He walked through the ship in the dark, checking doors, cables, weapons. Everything looked fine, but his gut said otherwise. Timmy was already awake, sitting in the cockpit. They're coming, aren't they? He asked. Zixel nodded slowly. I think so. Just then, boom! An explosion rocked the station. Alarms blared, lights flashed red. Zixel grabbed Timmy and ran for the exit. Outside, smoke filled the halls. People screamed. And through the fog came figures in black armor, bounty hunters. Zixel cursed. He sold us out. Timmy looked up, shocked. Rax? He smiled too much, Zixel muttered. That's always a bad sign. The hunters raised their rifles. Hand over the chip, and the boy. Zixel pushed Timmy behind him. Try and take him. Blaster fire erupted. Zixel ducked and returned shots, dragging Timmy down a side hallway. They jumped over crates, crawled under pipes, and slid into a broken cargo chute. They landed hard in a lower deck. Timmy coughed. What now? Zixel pointed to a maintenance tunnel. That leads to the landing pad. We're going to the ship. They crawled through the tight space. Every noise echoed. Footsteps, blasters, shouts. Timmy whispered. Why would Rax betray you? Zixel's voice was low. Same reason they all do. Credits. Timmy frowned. But we were just fixing the ship. Zixel looked back. Kid, truth makes people scared, and scared people make stupid choices. They reached the ship just as 2 bounty hunters entered the hangar. Zixel threw a smoke grenade and pushed Timmy aboard. Shots flew past them as the ramp closed. Zixel jumped into the pilot seat. Hold on. The engines roared. The ship blasted. Out of the station just as another explosion tore through the fuel bay. Flames lit up the sky. Zixel looked down at the burning station in the rear screen. Sorry, Rax, you chose the wrong side. Timmy sat on the floor, breathing hard. We almost died. We always almost die, Zixel said. Timmy looked up. Why didn't you leave me behind? Zixel paused, then said softly, Because someone once left me. I know how it feels. They flew in silence for a while. Then the alert pinged. Broadcast tower in range. Zixel looked over. One more stop, kid. After this, no more running. Timmy stood up slowly. I'm ready. Zixel smiled. Good, because when we send this truth out, the whole galaxy will hear your voice. The stars looked sharp and cold outside the ship's window. Zixel flew quietly. He hadn't said a word in over an hour. Timmy sat beside him, clutching the memory crystal like it was the only thing keeping him alive. Ahead of them floated a forgotten Piece of space history, Tower 9, an emergency broadcast station from the First Galactic War. It hadn't been used in decades, is that it? Timmy asked. Zixel nodded. That's our only chance. The tower was small and broken-looking. Its metal was rusted. A few panels flickered weakly. It was floating just above a dying moon, locked in orbit like a lonely ghost. Will it still work? Timmy asked. We'll find out, Zixel said. They landed in the docking ring. No guards, no cameras, just dust and silence. Inside, the air was cold. The walls were scratched. A soft wind howled through a cracked vent. Timmy looked around. Feels like something's watching us. Zixel's voice was calm. Everything in this galaxy is watching now. They found the main broadcast room in the center of the tower, one big screen, a dusty camera, and an old control desk covered in blinking lights. Zixel brushed off the dust and plugged in the memory chip. The console lit up. Timmy watched nervously as old green letters filled the screen. System. Rebooting. Standby. Zixel nodded. Still alive. He turned to Timmy. Once we start the signal, it'll go everywhere. Every planet, every station, even the council. Timmy swallowed. Then what? Then you talk. But before they could begin, the console made a strange beeping sound. Zixel leaned in. What is it? Timmy asked. Zixel's eyes narrowed. We've been traced. Timmy's heart dropped. They're coming? Zixel pulled up a radar screen. A ship. Big. Fast. A red dot was heading toward them at high speed. We don't have time to run, Timmy whispered. Zixel stood. Then we finish this before they land. Zixel worked quickly, fingers flying across the keys. Signal channel open, power level low, but enough. He handed Timmy a small headset. When the light turns green, you speak, just like you practiced. Timmy took the headset. What if I mess up? Zixel crouched beside him. Truth doesn't need to be perfect. It just needs to be real. Outside the tower, the enemy ship arrived, a dark warbird with sharp wings and flashing lights. It landed, without warning. The ramp dropped. 5 armored bounty hunters stormed inside, weapons raised. Inside, the control room lights turned green. Zixel shouted, Now, Timmy, talk. Timmy stepped up to the camera. He looked small, scared. His voice shook. My name is Timmy, he began. I'm not a soldier. I'm not anyone special. Bang. The outer door was blasted open. Zixel grabbed his blaster and ran out of the room. I had a mom, Timmy said, still speaking into the camera. She was a scientist. She wanted peace, but she found something horrible. Blaster shots rang through the hall. Zixel ducked behind a metal wall, firing as the bounty hunters advanced. Sparks flew. He hit one in the leg. Another threw a grenade. But Zixel kicked it away just in time. Inside the control room, Timmy kept speaking. They built a weapon, a secret one. It can crush whole planets without a single shot. He gripped the desk with both hands. They killed my mother for finding out. Now they're coming for me. Zixel shouted through his earpiece. Almost done, Timmy. Just hold on. Timmy stared into the camera. I don't want revenge. I want someone to care. I want someone to stop this before it's too late. Outside, Zixel was hit. He fell, groaning in pain, but still fired one more shot. Another hunter dropped. The console beeped. Signal, 75% uploaded. 82%, 91%. Timmy spoke louder. I'm just a boy. But if you hear this, please help, please tell the truth. Signal, 100%. The screen flashed. Broadcast sent. Transmission complete. Timmy took off the headset. He breathed hard. Then he turned and ran toward the hallway. He found Zixel on the floor, wounded but alive. You did it? Zixel asked. Timmy nodded. Everyone saw it. Zixel smiled through the pain. Then we won. The remaining bounty hunters ran as sirens echoed across the tower. Ships were coming. Council ships. Backup. Real backup. Zixel and Timmy were taken aboard a rescue vessel as the warbird fled into space. On board, Timmy sat beside Zixel as medics. worked on his arm. "You were brave," Zixel whispered. Timmy smiled. "So were you." In the stars outside, messages were already spreading. People watched the boy's face on every screen. Some cried, some got angry, some stood up to fight for peace. And it all began with one broken signal. The galaxy had never heard a voice like his, a child's voice, shaky, honest, full of fear, but stronger than any blaster. Timmy's broadcast was now everywhere, in the quiet halls of the Galactic Council, on pirate stations in the dark zones, even in secret military bases where generals turned pale as they watched. And it wasn't just what he said, it was who said it. Not a soldier, not a politician, just a scared boy with nothing to gain, except the truth. Zixel lay in a medical pod aboard the rescue ship. His arm was wrapped in soft blue light. Machines beeped quietly around him. Timmy sat nearby, watching the stars outside the window. "Is it over?" he asked. Zixel gave a weak smile. "Not yet, but you just shook the whole galaxy." Timmy didn't speak for a moment. Then he asked, "Do you think they'll listen?" Zixel's voice was soft. "They already are." On the bridge of the rescue ship, a council officer approached. She was tall, serious, and wore a silver badge, shaped like a star. "You are the boy from the broadcast?" she asked. Timmy stood slowly. "Yes, ma'am." "I'm Commander Vera," she said. "You've started something powerful. We're already getting reports. Planets pausing military actions, scientists confirming your data, even rebel groups offering help." Timmy blinked. "So it worked?" "Yes," she said. "But now? The galaxy is watching you." The council offered Timmy protection, a safe place, a quiet life, even a return to Earth, where a distant relative had offered to care for him. They also asked Zixel what reward he wanted. He asked for just one thing, a ship, and a direction. Later, in a quiet room, Zixel leaned against the wall while Timmy stared at a datapad showing Earth. Green forests, blue oceans, a school, a house with a garden. "They say I can go there," Timmy said. "Live normal. Be a kid." Zixel nodded. "It's a good offer." But? Timmy looked up. "What if someone else out there is in danger? What if someone else is running just like I was?" Zixel smiled. "Then maybe they need a voice too." Commander Vera met them in the docking bay. She was surprised to see Timmy in a pilot jacket standing beside Zixel. "I thought you were going home," she said. "I am," Timmy replied. "But not to Earth. My home is out there now." Vera looked at Zixel. "Is this wise?" Zixel grinned. "He's safer with me than anyone else." She nodded slowly. "Very well. The council will not stop you." She handed Timmy a small metal pin. It had a tiny blue flame on it. "A symbol of truth," she said. "You lit it. Keep it burning." The ship they received was sleek and fast, small, enough to disappear, strong enough to survive. Zixel let Timmy name it. He called it Hope Echo, because that's what he had become, an echo of hope, traveling from one corner of space to another. Before takeoff, Timmy stood in the open hatch. Looking back, he saw the council's tall towers, the safe rooms, the promise of peace. But he also saw the stars, wide, wild, unfinished. As the ship rose into the sky, Zixel looked at the boy in the co-pilot seat. "No turning back now." Timmy smiled. "I don't want to." Zixel nodded. "So, partner? Where to next?" Timmy tapped the map screen. "Wherever someone needs help." On a mining moon in distress, a worker replayed the boy's message. On a pirate ship, a captain lowered her gun after hearing his words. And in a hidden lab, a young girl holding a stolen chip whispered, "I'm not alone," because now the galaxy had heard him, and it couldn't unhear him. The stars stretched forever ahead. Zixel's ship, Hope Echo, drifted through deep space, silent, steady, and free. No more alarms, no bounty hunters, no running. And yet, they didn't stop. Because some heroes don't rest. Some heroes don't wear uniforms. Some heroes just fly where they're needed. Timmy sat in the co-pilot seat flipping through messages on the ship's console. Another distress call, he said. Outpost Theta 3, low oxygen, no contact from supply ships in weeks. Zixel sipped from a cup. Pirate trouble? Maybe. Or maybe the council forgot them again. Zixel stretched. Let's go remind them they're not alone. It had been 1 month since Timmy's broadcast changed the galaxy. He didn't live in a palace. He didn't lead armies. He didn't wear armor. But people remembered him. They painted his face on station walls. They named shelters after him. Children from broken worlds whispered, "If he made it, maybe I can too." But Timmy never asked for medals. He never stood on a stage, he just kept flying. He and Zixel had built something quiet but powerful. A route through forgotten places, a message passed from world to world. You're not forgotten. On Outpost Theta 3, the air was cold and thin. Plants had stopped growing. The power cells were nearly dead. When Hope Echo landed, the people inside thought it was a raiding ship. Instead, Zixel walked in with oxygen tanks on his back, and Timmy followed carrying seed packs and light bulbs. No speeches. No grand music, just help. Later that night, a child from the outpost sat beside Timmy by a campfire. Are you the boy from the video? Timmy smiled. Maybe. Why do you help us? The child asked. You're just a kid. Timmy looked at the fire. Because I was alone once, and someone helped me. As they left the outpost, the people cheered. Timmy didn't wave. He just smiled. Zixel looked over. You know, back in the old days, couriers were just messengers. Timmy nodded. Now we're something more. Zixel laughed. Heroes. Timmy shook his head. Just reminders. Back in space, a secure message came through. It was from Commander Vera. She appeared on the screen. You've been requested at the council hall. They want to give you the Starfire medal. Zixel raised an eyebrow. Fancy. Timmy blinked. A medal? They say you changed the galaxy, she said. You deserve it. Zixel turned to Timmy. So, what do you say? The next day, the council hall was full. Reporters, officers, leaders. Everyone waited for the boy who had spoken truth. But the main podium remained empty. Commander Vera stood quietly at the side, holding the Starfire medal, waiting, still waiting. Far away, Hope Echo drifted toward another signal. Timmy looked out the window. I don't need a medal. Zixel smiled. Good, because I left mine behind too. They high-fived, and the ship jumped to light speed. The galaxy kept spinning. Worlds kept changing. But in every dark corner, when hope felt small, someone always remembered, a courier and a kid once came here. Not for medals, not for power, but because someone had to care.